I am thrilled to have to my right somebody who I've just loved watching, loved everything about him when he was representing my school as a basketball player and then going on to the next level, 15 years in the NBA. I can go through all his stats, but his most important stat, I think, was the one steal he had in the Uncle Drew movie because he stole the whole damn show. He's here to call the Lakers and Timberwolves tonight. He is Chris Webber. How are you, Chris?
Hey, how you doing, Rich? Thanks for having me, man. It's good to be here. We talked about coming here.
We did.
Yeah.
And now you are a man of your word. You said, I'm going to come, and I really appreciate you doing that.
No, great time. Marv told me to tell you hi. I think he did your show a little while ago.
He did. He called in.
Yeah.
You know what he means to people like me from New York City,
oh,
right?
Yeah. And even the guys like myself, like I always tell him, I'm like, because I do his imitations of him when he's not around.
You do?
Yeah.
Can you give me one right now?
I don't know how it's bad. I'm a bad imitation guy. But I like that, though. I like being a bad imitation guy. So as long as you know.
All right, do you want to do? Okay,
well, Chris, what do you want to talk about tonight? You want to talk about how Sacramento Kings were terrible, but you want to dog the Lakers? Or, I'm a terrible guy.
No, that's not bad.
But when I'm talking to him and his voice is pretty funny to me, especially because he hates it. And so.
Oh, he does?
Oh yeah, he hates it. Oh, yes. He hates it. He hates it, but he's the best to work with. Like, I was blessed at Turner. My first guy I got to work with was Dick Stockton. And so here I am. I know his voice. Actually, you know how it is. When you're young, you think the commentators are the reason why your team wins or loses.
Yes.
And so growing up, I hate Dick Stockton because every Celtic game would come on. Oh, I don't like Marv because every game is so. Getting to work with these guys and really getting schooled through them and going through the school of hard knocks with them, how they like things and be professional in this. I need to know this, that. It was just the best thing. And so Turner really helped me by putting the vets around me and keeping a safety net up under me till I got my legs up under
Turner
me.
does a great job in taking guys or gals. I mean, Candace Parker is phenomenal.
She's great, isn't she?
Right. So taking athletes off of the court and surrounding them with the right producing and talent to make sure that you guys succeed and gals succeed.
Yeah.
Marv, though, I mean, look, I'm very fortunate with what I do for a living, and I'm blessed every day, and I'm not jaded. And Marv's a perfect example. You telling me, Chris Webber, that he says hello to me? I mean, that just made my day.
No, seriously, it is.
I mean, this is Marv. This is the guy who I grew up. I steal from him every day, and I sometimes can come across sounding like him a little bit. My imitation of Marv, though, Mike, if you don't mind, Del Tufo, it works best with the NBA on NBC theme whenever I hear this.
Oh, so you actually got a whole shtick with it.
I
need the music.
Yes. Welcome to the NBA on NBC. Today, Michael Jordan goes for yet another championship, trying to rip the heart of Karl Malone or Patrick Ewing out of their chest and show it to them pumping live to NBC.
The only thing you missed was the weather. It's a balmy 70 degrees, or it's a frigid 22 degrees, and
Today on a rainy night in Los Angeles.
Exactly. He's the best, man. And what's so funny is now I do all my prep on like an iPad where I can write things down with this pen and stuff, and I have my papers. But Marv, I don't know how he does it. He has literally 100 papers, and anything I say, I've tested him in games before. I'll be like, there's such and such mom. Bah! His mom is da-da-da-da.
He's got it written down?
Any information. Most of it's in his head, or he has it in some type of crazy notes that he's had. But his context, like, you know how we all get into these fun arguments that no one will ever win. Who's the best this? Who's the best that?
Sure.
He has a context that goes so far back. And he'll say, well, Chris, Tiny Archibald used to do this. And I'm like, okay, I'll shut up right now. You know what I mean?
Well,
the human dictionary of NBA.
Pistol Pete Maravich once told me.
Exactly. Like, he name dropped me that. I couldn't say that. But,
well, you are, like I said, you're blessed. And you're here tonight for the Lakers and the Timberwolves. Now, when you were on the show of many times prior to the season, you said this Lakers team is not a playoff team. Now,
the world killed me for it.
Well, hold on a second. What we didn't see coming was LeBron missing a month. I mean, as of tomorrow, it will be a month since Christmas Day when he hurt himself. But now you're giving me this look.
I just came from a production meeting. I have notes in my phone. I can pull them out. But the Lakers still, the whole thing I was saying was that they don't have any shooters. And if you look at their shooting from spots, they're 30th. I'm probably 1 or 2 off because I'm not looking, but they're 30th in free throws, 30th in jump shots, 30th in threes. They have no shooters. Like, even when LeBron was in Miami, who did he have? One of the best shooters ever in Ray Allen. Then you have to look at what my boy Shane Battier did on Mike Miller. I think 8 threes in a row. He's always had shooters around him because he was a facilitator. When he doesn't have shooters around, how can you be the best you can be? He's having a great season. It's not about him, but I do think it's about the talent that you have around him. And I think that if you win one championship in 4 years, that's the story. So this year really doesn't matter in the narrative to me, but to fans, I understand, because if it were me, I'd tell them to shut it down right now.
LeBron James would not play again.
No player in the last 9 years have played more minutes than he has. No one has had the body of work, going to all-star games, done what they've done in the summer. And he's been to 9 straight finals, right? So what if he has to work harder this year than he's had to work to get to any final, and they get the 8th seed and lose in 4 games? You happy with that he's not rested? And you're still trying to win one championship? I mean, what is it? A championship or one game at home at the Staples Center? It's whatever you want. If you feel like we want to see him in the playoffs at the Staples Center, we're going to lose these 2 games and he's going to do it, then okay. If you want to see him win the championship, why wouldn't you rest him? He's never had rest in the last 9 years. So you want him to work harder this year to be a last playoff seed, tired, than you would him rest and come back next year. This groin injury is no joke. He's 30-something years old, never really been hurt before. I just don't know what this season means if you're trying to win a championship.
Well, I could say that about the entire NBA, though, right?
No.
No.
No, because everybody doesn't have the same narrative. They don't have the greatest player on their team with their 4-year window. Everyone else is playing to get better, playing for experience in the playoffs, playing to see how they'll be next year. Some of these guys never even won a playoff round. So with him, it's different. I mean,
well, why wouldn't getting experience for Kuzma in the playoffs, or experience for Lonzo when he comes back, or Brandon Ingram, or making it seem like some of these guys, if they do perform well, even for a game or two, say against a top-seeded Golden State Warriors, wouldn't be more valuable in a sign and trade to actually pull something off to get the championship here? What about that, Chris?
So you want to get them 2 games of experience and tire LeBron out so he comes in next year tired. Let's say 2 games of experience, and they might be traded. So that experience might not even be. You might not even use that experience.
Well, Chris Webber, I'm not sitting here saying you're making no sense.
Okay,
let's put that out
there. But I'm
there.
making no sense.
No. No, you are making a ton of sense. It's just not. It's not real life possibility, I don't think. By that I mean, how do you, as a Laker organization, sell that?
You don't.
To the fan base here.
Very honestly, you shouldn't care, because the fans want a championship. So listening to fans, like some teams do, the teams that listen to fans never win. Period. The teams that listen to fans never win. I want the Lions to sign this guy. They wouldn't win if they never win. And so if my goal is a championship in 4 years, plus let me just say this, if LeBron's out another 2 weeks, we don't have to have this conversation no more.
Then he'll just sit it out?
No, you guys would be so far out the playoff race. You're out the playoffs now. Mm-hmm. If LeBron doesn't come back and you're 6 games out the playoffs, you have the 3rd toughest schedule the rest of the way in the NBA. So that means LeBron's going to have to play as many minutes as Harden. We're talking about Harden getting tired.
Right.
And LeBron has had twice the minutes in his career that Harden has had, but nobody's worried about LeBron getting tired.
What do you think, Magic, if you and he sat down before the game tonight, just you find him in the crowd and you say this to him and there's no microphones on, what do you think he says? And there's
full disclosure, I've said this to people in the organization. I've said this to people. I mean, there's no...
Okay.
So...
And can you reveal what their reaction to that was?
They probably would say, we're not giving up, we're working hard.
Sure.
But if he can't play, he can't play. And if he can't play, it's no playoffs. If LeBron misses 6 more games, which he probably won't, but if he misses 6 more games in this run, playoffs are over.
So then let's play this out. This is fantastic. Chris Webber here on the Rich Eisen Show.
I'm getting killed on Instagram, right? I'm on all the Twitterverse I know. Right. You just hate the Lakers. You don't want them. I may hate the Lakers, but I'm just being honest with what I'm saying.
Which is maybe the most honest thing anybody could say.
But it's not clouding my decision.
Yes, as a matter of fact, in this social media world where everybody accuses wrongly that you hate my team, you do in fact hate their team.
I mean, I hate them with a love that you can only.
I know that.
Love someone you hate.
It's somebody who also grew up in the Detroit area with the Bad Boys and all that. I understand.
But I'm the biggest Magic fan in the world.
Well, who isn't? So now, let's play this out.
Okay.
So then let's just say LeBron doesn't come back. Let's play out the Chris that Pelinka and Magic and LeBron, Rich Paul, his agent, they all get together. Because if we're going to keep it real, let's
say he's hurt.
Here.
But let's say he's really
hurt.
hurt.
And the doctors say it's iffy here.
You could hurt yourself.
You could hurt yourself. You could come back. We could see what we could do.
6 games from now.
Let's say that, yes, 6 games from now. Let's say they say, you know what, Chris Webber is brilliant, and he's got the foresight. He's a
I don't think
seer.
they'll say
Okay,
that,
let's just
okay.
say that. So what happens in July? Clearly, Luke's not coming back, right? He takes the fall for this huge, 15-game under 500 season potentially.
He may
right?
take the fall in the next week. Wasn't it rumblings that he was going to get fired?
That's true. So what happens, though, when it's now time, like, hey, everybody's got to come to Los Angeles and help LeBron win? Which, the Bleach Report.
Aren't you guys saying that already?
No, what I'm saying, though, is doesn't it make it less attractive that the Lakers missed out, that LeBron couldn't make it through, right?
LeBron is never less attractive.
Okay. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm describing
looking
the radio
at
audience.
Fans, what happened 2 years ago? The Lakers, people can't tell me the Lakers roster 2 years ago. I think we have short memories. I think fans have short memories. I have a short memory. I'm going to be screaming the Lions can win the Super Bowl next year. It's just what we do at the end of the season. And I think that having LeBron be healthy, that's all I'm saying. It's about having LeBron be his healthiest self. And I think that he's susceptible to injuring himself again. The groin injury is very serious. And if he has to miss games, if he is not healthy and he misses the next 6 games, I seriously would think about it because he's just going to be fighting back, trying to make it, and it's still no guarantee that they'll make the playoffs. They have to make some big moves. And what if you get a draft pick? What if you're the next Boston? You put all these players together. So I just don't think the playoffs is as important in year one as winning a championship. And in order to win a championship, you're going to need a healthy LeBron. And I think you need to weigh that as opposed to the expectations of the first year with this guy.
I also think you need the Warriors to break up. So I want to take a break, and we'll have a conversation of what the Warriors look like right now. I do want to hit Harden with you and just so much more. I'm so thrilled that you're here, Chris.
No,
this
thanks
is
for having
fantastic.
me, man.
Chris Webber is here. More with C-Web when we come back on the Rich Eisen Show. Chris Webber, who is in town with Marv Albert to call the Lakers and Timberwolves tonight on the NBA on TNT, right back here on the show. What do you make of Harden's current stretch? He's off the hook right now.
Man, when you look at how he's just such a great shot maker, I've never seen anyone, and the game has changed. So you couldn't have seen anyone before the last 10 years because guys like Bird were not allowed to shoot threes a game. Ray Allen wasn't allowed to shoot consistently on the fast break. He had to run it the correct way at that time and lay it up. So we've never seen this type of play before, but his ball handling, him off the pick and roll, where guys have to make a decision to go over or under, and then his passing to a guy like Capella, and Capella finishing inside. So it's almost like the post. I've really been trying to do this little breakdown for NBA TV in my mind where his game is so ugly, meaning the style of play. But if you look at it as like reposting, I catch it in the post, I throw it back out to you, you throw it into me, and I'm posting up. That's him at the top of the key. And in talking to Coach D'Antoni, he says, you find me a better play than him at the top of the key. Any better play and I'll run it. And I don't know if I can find it.
You can't find it, right?
You can't find a better play than what he's doing. And so, people say, would you want to play with him? Would you not? The type of player I am, if I'm in the pick and roll and I know if you pass it to me, I can shoot and I can do all that, I would want to play with him. Other guys that maybe don't touch the ball as much and waiting in different places, I don't know how fun it would be to play in that system.
So, yeah, that was the question, Brockman, you wanted to ask, right, over before?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like this would be all that fun to just stand around for 20 seconds and watch him dribble between his legs and then shoot a step back.
Yeah. But P.J. Tucker, would he be this valuable on any other team?
No, probably not. But he's also a great rebounder and defender.
And
so he's
also
doing it on both ends.
And he's also one of the best corner shooters, so he just waits in the corner for him. It's almost like you're just waiting for your play. If you don't touch it this time, it's okay. What I do like about it is like the triangle offense, what it did was it put a leash on players. It said, you can only go here, you can only go here. That was the brilliance of the triangle offense. Everybody couldn't shoot and dribble 10 times. Like on some teams, it doesn't matter how well you score. You get the same freedom as other guys, and that's terrible coaching. We shouldn't get the same freedom if I can do more than you. You should keep the ball in your place. And I think that Harden, though the play is ugly, it's efficient because if anyone's going to make a mistake, it's him. And his passing, is just so incredible if you really think about it. The little layups and flips that he does and things like that, that I don't know, it's better to have him pass the ball, cut through the other side, get it to Chris Paul, dribble back around.
I mean, he's still averaging 8 assists a game, but are we getting Eric Gordon's full potential? Are we seeing what he could really do?
Yeah. If Eric Gordon was on, if Eric Gordon was on another team, and not to talk bad about him, but it would be like Bledsoe.
Okay.
I mean, we're not talking about a superstar that he's not getting the ball to. There's no one on this team. There's no one on this team that can carry a team.
Well, I guess it all comes down to it, Chris, is how's this going to beat the Warriors, right?
Some would say last year they beat the Warriors.
I know that. It's
and some would say you only get one chance and you
window
shot
of
your
opportunity.
wad.
That was it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was right there for the taking. We all know Chris Paul got hurt.
Yeah.
Seems to me, though, the Warriors with Boogie in the first 12 minutes I saw, it looks like he was playing with him for 12 years. And everyone's wondering in a way, how's this going to work? It looks like it works perfectly. It looks like he can dish, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can post up, he can create all sorts of problems when you're spotting up shooters like they have, right? It seems like that this is a righted ship, if at all, was on a reef. It looks like it's theirs for the taking again, Chris.
Yeah,
right?
after the little beef between Durant and Draymond, I think he's been the perfect infusion of energy. Like, they love playing with him. I know a lot of people in the media are like, how is this going to work? It's going to work great. These guys hang out in the summer. They want to play with each other. They asked him to come to the team. He's not going to rock the boat, whether it's not rock the boat because it's all those guys and he doesn't want to be ostracized by them in the locker room, or it's the fact he's playing for money in the contract. And if you don't do well in this locker room,
right,
what locker room are you going to do well in? So they have everything going for him. And the biggest thing is this dude averaged 27, 13, and 5.5 assists on a team that leads the number one team, Golden State, in assists at 30 a game. He loves passing. So his screens the other night for Thompson to get up. Like, you have to play within the culture. And when he gets hot, they're going to go to him just like they go to Curry, Durant, or Thompson. So they know they're the best individual players, and collectively they can be the best. And it's going to be tough to stop them.
So who's gonna be the one that does? I mean, give me. Would you say it's in the East, not in the West? I know you're laughing, but who's gonna beat them 7 games right now? I mean, it's the Nuggets, maybe. The Thunder gets it together. I mean, Giannis. The Raptors, obviously the Pacers took a huge blow with Oladipo going down.
Yeah, that's messed up about Oladipo. The team, so I don't really see anyone taking them down. I haven't the last 4 or 5 years. But the team I really like, and I really like them, is Toronto. They're good, man.
So what do you like about them?
They have the best bench in basketball. They also have height and length. Siakam, those guys can all play and switch together. So now you have Siakam, Kawhi, 6'7", switching out. You have Lowry at the point guard, and even he doesn't have to have the pressure of the last playoffs. He just needs to facilitate. The big fellas inside, Ibaka, they can play 4 or 5 different lineups. They can go big and they can go small. They like to run. They're not your normal East Coast team that doesn't score, and they get after you. And I want to say they beat the Warriors. I'm not sure.
They did.
Okay.
Without Kawhi in Oakland.
I like their team, man. I'm telling you, you can't. First of all, you can't check any guy in the league. You just can't. You just have to play your best and hope they miss. But they have guys that can maybe bother Durant a little bit because he's the same size. It's not like when Durant was playing against Houston and they were switching Chris Paul's on him. That's shooting over a chair in the drill. So now they have guys that actually can put a hand in the face and other things that maybe can deter him from shooting or maybe cause him to miss. But I just like their team. I like the structure, and they play hard.
Chris Webber here on the Rich Eisen Show. All right, let's switch gears a little bit. What do you think of Zion? What do you think of him when you see him play?
Man-child, or just man-child. That term has been used since I've been way before I've been younger, but since I can remember when I was young, they would say that about, and he's the first person I've been like, no, that's a man-child. Yeah, super athletic.
He is all that, it looks like, right now. I'm going to share with you what I have said into this microphone, Chris Webber, that seeing Coach K go all in on the young freshman, like, say, Steve Fisher did back in the day with you, Jalen, and the rest of the Fab Five. Seeing this current Michigan team, a team, right, where Beeline's got everybody positioned and they've got some great veteran players, okay, at the point. I love what Matthews is doing. Okay, seeing now Coach K go all in on the young kids only to have Michigan stand in their way, just to run it back to the future. Oh gosh, I'm so all in for that.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Wouldn't it though?
I love Coach K. It is funny to see him embrace these young guys. It's even more funny to hear him make excuses for them in interviews that we weren't allowed to have 25 years ago.
What do you mean by that?
What do I mean by that? Well, I think that Christian Laettner in my lifetime is the greatest college player of all time, period. After Kareem, Walton, to me, it's not a question. And we're going up against a team. They beat UNLV, my favorite team ever, the year before. UNLV was a pro team. They beat UNLV. So
in many ways in one, I think.
Yeah. That was an accomplishment.
Right.
And so for us to go up against a team that beat UNLV, and it was, statements like, well, it's a team. They're not just freshmen. They can grow up. They'll learn. Or, and now it's like, well, our guys got to learn how to play together. We're young. Things that are true. But it's just funny hearing the champion, Coach K, say that now. But I love the fact that he's embraced it, and I love the fact that he's helping these young kids, because I want kids that maybe go out in 1 or 2 years to have experience, to have a great coach like that, because in the past you were either lucky to have a Coach Fisher or you went to a place that you knew was going to be a stop. You maybe didn't get much coaching, and then it affected your career in the pros. And I think these kids are definitely going to be better off having Coach K in their life. But it'd be funny if it comes down to
Michigan and Duke.
I told someone at the beginning of the year, I said I could see that happening, and that would be something. That would be something.
Gosh, that would just be. Because I'm still pissed. I'm still pissed about that. I mean, that Michigan, the Fab Five right there, and Duke denied.
Duke got us. They were a bad bunch of boys, though. We were some bad men ourselves. But when I look at, you think about the career some of these guys had and what they did. You're never proud of losing to anyone, but remembering the scouting report and all the stuff that they had done back then, the players they had. That was a hell of a team. To me, that Duke team is one of the best college teams we've seen.
Do you see any young kids today recognize what you and the rest of the Fab Five had blazed the trail? Do you think that folks understand what the Fab Five Michigan Wolverines stood for and created? Because it seems like there's a ton of imitators now, when at the time you got so much crap.
I remember cutting our hair bald, man, and the commentators said we were thugs. Part of the reason why I love being a commentator is because how the narrative that was on us. So when I do college games, I know what it's like for that family to sit there and watch their son, and they're praying, being nervous. So I know what it's like for guys to be emotional, or they're up 30 points and the walk-on gets in the game. All those wonderful moments, the team moments. And so that's really why I like doing college, because I can do that, because the commentators in our time, they weren't right. They didn't know much about other cultures. It wasn't as diverse, and so it was easy to cast aspersions or to say that these people are like this, and you really don't know, but you're judging our body language, and you're making judges on the content of our character on body language.
How were you handling that at the time?
At the time, we loved it. Bring it on more. Because at the time, anybody 18 is against the world. It's like the world is against us. Like, that's what we needed. We were all from a poor city. We were all from friends and families that had been struggling, people that, like, we knew we were their hope on Saturdays. We knew what we were bringing to the table for our family and friends. So we embraced it. I mean, and that's what I hope that the young kids take with them, is that take everything with a grain of salt, the praise and the criticism, and then, if anything, use it all as energy to have something to fight against. And a lot of kids come up and they do give us love.
They do.
Oh, yeah.
They're aware. They're aware.
Yeah, and probably through their dad, you know what I mean? But they're aware, man.
Because it's just amazing, Chris Webber here on the Rich Eisen Show. I mean, you've got the number 4 jersey up there, Brockman, of the Michigan number 4 from the Fab Five.
Right.
Just seeing now, it's just, if you don't have a one-and-done team, you don't have much of a shot, which is why what Beeline's doing in Michigan is just, it's an outlier.
Yeah.
And this year, as opposed to Beeline building a team that then comes out and becomes a behemoth in March, this year Michigan started 17-0.
I'm telling you, it's these top 6 teams, it's going to be something, man. I mean, basketball this year in college is really good, especially, like you say, how Beeline teaches the game, penetration, kick out, draw. He has guys that can play in all different type of positions. So it's going to be good. I would caution, though, because college basketball is real, and so they know we can go 17-0, and then they know we can lose the first game of the tournament. And so that's the wonderful balance of basketball. It's like, okay, we've done that, but so what? What do we do tomorrow?
Right. Your honorary captaincy this year, we talked about it. You kind of have to call in right after. How about now you're a couple months removed? How is this sitting with you in terms of you and Ann Arbor and everything on that front?
It's great. I called Coach Harbaugh at the end of the season, wished him congratulations. A couple of guys off the team made a relationship with, and hopefully I can do them right by mentoring. I love the fact that I went back there. We still have scholarships at the university since my time of leaving. So right now I'm just really happy that I got a chance to go back. As far as another step or something, I'm enjoying my kids right now and trying to get through the rest of the season.
Okay.
But that was hopefully the first step, but it was initiated through Coach Harbaugh, and I really appreciate him for that, because if not, it would not have happened.
Do you have any contact with Beeline at all, or no?
I don't. I called Coach. I don't know him. I called Coach when he had a procedure and just let him know I was thinking about him. But besides that, I don't know how much it is for me and him to talk about. It's really between me and him in the school. It's like he wasn't there. So it's unfortunate, but my relationship is not with him. I went to the University of Michigan.
Right.
So.
But, I mean, you represented the basketball team, man.
Yeah, the school should have that talk, not the basketball coach. That wasn't there, that has nothing to do with it. It's a lot to talk about, and hopefully next year when my book comes out, you'll allow me in the book, and we can talk for hours.
So you're putting this all in a book, essentially, or?
I don't know. I may write the book and never put it out.
Okay.
I don't know. It just depends on my mood, but I'm not gonna circumvent a conversation that needs to be between me and the school because the basketball coach is there. Like, what does that have to do with anything?
No, I know. I mean,
no, I'm not saying that to you. I just mean to the.
I totally understand that. I mean, Harbaugh wasn't there either, but he did reach out, and again, on behalf of everybody, I'll say it. I mean, on behalf of everybody who roots for the Wolverines. I mean, you in the fold would be monumental. Just to be.
I would love it. I'm not the one that told me I couldn't go. Mm-hmm. So you tell me I can't come over your house, but then you want me to come over your house and say, "Hey, I'm here." I mean, come on, man. Come on. Like this.
No, I hear you. So is there something?
There's an athletic director. There's a school there. There's people there, man. Come on. I mean, and full disclosure, I've talked to the athletic department. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody just, they don't want to. It's unfair to put Coach Beeline in that position. I really believe that. He has nothing to do with anything. He does not know me.
Mm-hmm. But you're open to having a conversation is what you're saying.
I've been open to having a conversation, and I've been open to having a conversation.
And we'll see what happens.
And we'll see. And it hopefully started with the call I got, or the tens of calls I got from Coach Harbaugh saying, this year, no, next year. Mm-hmm. And so I thank him for his patience, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Chris Webber here on the Rich Eisen Show, and then obviously you got the broadcasting. Your twins are how old are they?
Oh,
you said
20 months. I'm in the month counting now, so almost 2 years old. My boy, man, it's scary. He looks like he's like 4.5 years old. I don't know what to do.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like 4T. Like I buy him shoes, he grows out the next day. I'm sure every parent goes through that. But
sure, but I'm both again. You and I have Michigan ties. I'm not Chris Webber. So my kids do grow out of shoes, but not nearly damn that fast.
Yeah, well,
I mean, holy crap,
I'm learning a lot of new things about babies, man. But it is awesome. Before I came out of town, like I told my wife, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna do this, because my daughter looked up and was like, "I miss you, Daddy." That was the first time I heard "miss you," and she looking at me. Oh, it killed me to leave.
I know. Yeah, my daughter will do that too. Oh, she'll look at me. It's. Whenever it's time for me to go and the bag comes out, it's bad news.
No, now when I pull it back, it's so funny. So now I have to play with them and kiss them and distract them and just run and don't say goodbye. Because now they see the bag coming and it's all type of, now you love me. Because, daddies don't get appreciated. I wake up in the morning, give me a kiss. And they're like, psych, where's mama? And now they're hugging and kissing me like, oh, you about to leave? I'm like, okay, yeah, they're starting. They're getting smart. Yeah.
All right, well, you're great at it. Yeah. You really are. I mean, Turner's not just going to sit you next to Marv Albert just because of anything.
Thanks.
You're really, really great at it. Your phone ring after Uncle Drew for more of that stuff, or what?
Yeah, it rung, and hopefully, do some more stuff. But it's guys like you, George Blaha, like, when you're watching, and even if it's CNN or Fox, I'll watch, how guys get in and out of transition. You study for this. You've been in this a long time. I mean, at Michigan, you've been doing this, and so guys like myself, I have to catch up by watching, and I'm not just saying this, watching the best do it, and just seeing what the professional framework is, and then inserting myself, and that's what I think that I've learned the best of the guys do. They have a template, very professional, but if you weren't Rich, really none of this would work. You'd just be a professional hack sitting in front of, we watch because of you. And so I just try to make sure I can put all that and present it. But I think really everybody, all the suits at Turner, because they really make it. I don't miss basketball because it's the locker room that you really miss after, and we get that at Turner.
Well, that's the one thing that we're trying to do is, as always at the NFL Network, Chris, is when we started was to try and create as many real conversations, because that's what fans want to know. They want to know what you're really saying, what you're really thinking as an athlete or a general manager or a team owner or something like that.
Yeah.
And, when there's real conversation, when Irvin and Kurt Warner and when Marshall Faulk and Sapp and Dion, I mean, Dion only knows one style of conversation, and that's real.
Yeah.
NBA on Turner is that all the time.
Yeah.
KG creating an area of 21 for him. And again, like I said, I think Candace Parker's fantastic, and what you are doing, the players only stuff on NBA TV. It's phenomenal.
And hear the stories from Kevin McHale. I tell Kevin, I wish I just had a camera just for when the show goes off, to hear his stories. He's the best storyteller.
They're not safe for work, are you
by
saying?
far.
Pretty much, are you saying they're not safe for work? Or?
They probably just don't have anything to do at work. He might just tell you one time he was hunting in Montana and something happened. He's just the fun. He might be the funniest guy I've ever met.
No
in my life. Oh my God, Kevin McHale.
It's not Kyrie. It's not Kyrie.
Kyrie is.
Be careful.
Kyrie did give me a job. What else Uncle Drew? You know what I mean? They're gonna kill me off in the second movie.
Seriously, if it means being in a great movie, damn right the world's flat.
That's right.
I hear you, Kyrie. I think the world's flat too. Is your Uncle Drew too or not?
And the moon landing was fake.
That was funny. Van Gundy said that the other day when they had a promo for Celtics and Warriors. He said, it's the world is flat versus the moon landing never happened.
Can you talk some sense into these kids, C-Web? Like, come on.
It's crazy, but it's crazy. But I was like, why is everybody in the uproar? Like, why would you? It was like, he's messing up education. Like, I would tell my kid, Kyrie's a great basketball player. You don't listen to him for theories about space. And, why are we giving him this much, credence? It's like,
Well, he went to Duke. I mean, he went to Duke and
for 7 games.
Oh man. Oh man, I can't. I mean, could you imagine? It all comes down to Duke's freshmen versus a Michigan team in the finals, and the Duke freshman team goes down to Michigan.
Man, I tell you,
mean, I'm serious. I am so all in. I've got
keep saying this. I'm gonna send this to Grant Hill.
I'm in my napkin tucked in. I got my knife and my fork, and I am ready to feed.
Yeah.
Oh, that would just be.
It would be.
Then there's but the problem is there's a Virginia, there's a Gonzaga, there's a Tennessee, just for starters.
Yeah, and Michigan State. Yeah, and Michigan State is on those guys.
Yeah, but they haven't beaten Michigan in a couple years. So.
No, not in football either. Hockey, nothing. Still hockey.
Well, at least there's something we could crow about right there. Hey, great to see you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
You're
on,
really
man.
one of my favorites. Same with Suze too. She always loves seeing you at games and whatever. And so. You're the man. Please come back anytime.
Hey, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Chris Webber here on the Rich Eisen Show at Real Chris. Somebody sitting on Twitter with Chris Webber? Is that what it is? Chris Webber.
They got 6 followers. They want $1 billion for the name.
But you keep it real. Very good. At Real Chris Webber on Twitter. Watching with Marv tonight from here in Los Angeles.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.